The architect, and I'm here talking with Casey Eberhart, CEO of DNet TV, and we are talking about social media and how to use that in your business. So, hi Casey, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So before I ask you how you use social media in your business, I want to just kind of ask you why you think social media is important today, and why it's important at all for businesses to use it.
Well, Rachel, it's really interesting. Obviously, you and I are coming into a new era of social media at a time where, 5 years ago it was Friendster, and then it was in MySpace, and we're always evolving with the sort of the platforms in social media. And really, what social media has done is it has been the great equalizer in communication. It has allowed celebrities to be made and broken with 140 characters. It allows people to have a voice where they otherwise wouldn't have had a voice. So I really look at social media as a place to start conversations, engage in conversations, end in conversations, start building relationships, ending relationships, communicating with a current customer base that plays in social media so your brand can have interaction on social media. And frankly, what I feel is the biggest benefit of social media is it allows me to stay connected to a group of people between blog posts, between phone calls, between live meetings. So, and what I mean by that is, most people will say, well, I don't really care what you had for dinner. And I get that. That's the old, I don't want to fix toilets, which is why you don't want to be a landlord. Yet I've been a landlord for 20 years and have never fixed a toilet. So same thing. It allows me to stay connected to folks between times I see them. And that, I think, is the most important piece. So I can stay up on all of my friends' lives. I can stay up on all of my colleagues' lives. I can stay up on all of my peers and competitors' lives, so that when we get in an environment where I'm on the phone or we're live face-to-face talking to them, there's not that whole, well, what have you been up to? And then you miss all the important things.
Yeah, totally. That's perfect.
It's like, I'll give you an example. I have a friend of mine, and she and her husband just got pregnant. And I'm literally following the growth of this baby. I'm excited because today she started referring to it, instead of a blueberry, as a fig. And I get to follow that on social media, where otherwise I would not have that interaction, because she and her family are busy, I'm busy, and so we just don't always have that time to connect. So that social media is kind of that bridging of the gap, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I definitely think that, when it comes to social media, you, with your business, especially, well, with any online business, I think that I've seen how it has been incorporated into DNet, and you and I were having a conversation about this a little while ago about that. So tell us how you specifically use it in your business, and why that matters to you.
Sure. So DNet is a collaborative online environment. So we have a central property, we'll call it dnettv.com, and our members all contribute content to this crowd blog, if you will. It's a little bit like Huffington Post, although we don't edit any of our content. So our blog is really about by the community, for the community. And we have people that are adding content in there at all times. Well, what happens is we need to get that content out into the social sphere, because you can get into a lot of people and get into a lot of people's networks very, very quickly, in a way that just doing Google search or Bing or Yahoo doesn't necessarily provide. So in DNet, for example, we have a plugin where anybody can go to the site and leave a comment for a blog post that they like. I like one of Rachel's posts. I can leave a comment, and it automatically shares to my social media networks. What that does is it allows me to give a vote to Rachel, to my network, saying, hey, she's cool. Come read her stuff. So for DNet, we find a huge amount of our traffic is coming because our whole network is sharing, communicating, liking, and commenting on posts within our network, within our community. The other thing is, I don't think most people realize this on a practical level, and we'll just use Facebook since that's the big one, right? Mm-hmm. If you put a message on Facebook, I don't care whether it's I had lunch yesterday, or I took a shower today, or read this blog post. It doesn't really matter what the post is. For the most part, that message is going to have a lifespan of about 10 minutes, right? And so what I see in social media happen a lot is people will write these big, long, they'll basically take their message and they'll want to vomit it out.
Right.
Some of it's good, some of it's bad. Maybe it's an opinion on a food restaurant. Maybe it's an opinion on a type of blog, whatever. But you know what I'm talking about. There are some people that will write these long posts. And I just sit there and shake my head because I know that lasts about 10 minutes. So their wisdom is lasting about 10 minutes. Whereas if in DNET's model, for example, if you took that same rant, we'll call it, or that same piece of inspiration, and you dropped it into DNET's blogging platform, added a space for somebody to like your Facebook page, add a capture form that if somebody wants to raise their hand and talk to you, they can raise their hand and put in their name and email address, and you let that sit on DNET, what happens is the internet gods come upon us and take that out to Bing and Yahoo and Google, no problem. But now what you can do is you can take social media and drive traffic back to that article that you wrote, where it already lives in a permanent fixed asset state. So rather than spending the time putting it on social media and having it gone forever, drop it in as an article with a way for people to contact you about your business, and then use social media to drive traffic back to the post. And that's how we use social media all the time. Our call to actions are inside the article. We drive people from Facebook to our articles. So it's a little bit reversed. We're not going to say go to this blog post, right? We're going to say, hey, we wrote this really cool article. It talks about results, not reasons, or how to accelerate your results. I wrote a bit. This is too long for Facebook, so head over here. I'd love your comments. Now we bring people over from Facebook. They're reading the article. If we're good, and we ask them to comment on it, and they comment on it while they're in DNET, now they've just shared that to their social network. And because it comes as a testimonial or a vote that this article is good, now it weights that piece of content even further.
I love that. And I also noticed that, well, obviously you're definitely, I consider you a thought leader just when it comes to online marketing, but I just in all transparency for anyone watching this, I should also mention that I am a DNET member too. I recently became a member when I saw the possibilities that it has. So I love it. I'm definitely seeing those benefits and everything that you're talking about.
Well, let me ask you, Rachel. You're the social media expert. We've seen, you and I were talking just before this about your experience with DNET. So you tell us what you found from a social media expert's perspective of how that would help you in your business.
Sure. Yeah. So basically with DNET before, just like what you said, it was kind of, I would write a blog post I'd put it on my website, on my blog, and then I'd push it out through Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and put it in my newsletter. And it was kind of this, this little circle, but it was all within my own network, within my own, my own world. And I would get traffic to my website from that. But then I noticed when I published a post in DNET, I had this spike in traffic to my site from DNET, and then also the Facebook traffic actually went up as well. And I don't think that's a coincidence because it was the same article that I was linking to from DNET that also from Facebook got more traffic. So somehow DNET was able to not only get me more traffic to my own website, but also through social media. So it just kind of boosted all of it, and like you said, it gave it more life, and now it's out there forever, continuing to get traffic. And DNET is growing very rapidly, probably in no small part to social media, but also with the huge network that you guys have with all the people collaborating and adding their content. So I see this as being a very sustainable long-term marketing model that kind of dovetails really nicely with social media. Not to mention just the network of people that I can co-collaborate with within the DNET community itself and create relationships with. There's so much potential there, but that's just my own little story of how DNET has helped me with not just traffic, but just more visibility and the kind of the long-term aspect of it. So,
well,
yeah.
And it makes you more of an authority in your marketplace. And what I mean by that is we are all competing with the 15-year-olds of today. Yeah. Right? The 15-year-olds, we have 1,000 days until they start running this operation. And we're going to be competing with them. Us business owners are going to be competing with them, hiring them, being hired by them, something. We have to live and breathe in their environment.
Right.
And so when you write an article and you put it on your own blog, somebody has to find that article, read about you, and now it's all about you. Right? It's by you, for you, in your own little website.
Yeah.
But there is something that goes through on an emotional level when I read an article that somebody has written that's been posted on some other website other than yourname.com.
Absolutely.
So when you write an article on social media and you put it into DNET, what happens is now that article can get seen, and when somebody Googles or Bings or Yahoo's Rachel Karl's name, yeah, your website's going to definitely come up there. Those articles are definitely going to be indexed. But now think about if you have all these other articles that are coming out on DNET, DNET.com, and then you do a radio show with somebody inside the network, and now your name is being shown out on a radio thing, and it creates this web, if you will, that gives massive social proof to somebody searching for you.
Totally.
And that's the big key.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So, so I know we don't have a lot of time because you have to get to another meeting. So I just wanted to ask you one more question. If you could give one piece of advice on how people can use social media, and obviously, I would recommend that they also use DNET too. But let's just say, let's talk about social media on a broad scale as a business owner online. What do you think is a smart action for them to take when they're using social media for their business?
It's a great question, and I study this stuff. I am a secret social media expert. I'm in the closet. Yeah. I'm in the closet for social media. Yeah,
you totally are. Yeah, you're great at it.
So here's how I and we look at it. Every single post that goes, first off, I'll give you a couple of different things. I know you wanted one, but I got to kind of tie this into a couple. Okay. So first off, there are 5 things that you will never ever see a post on or about. 5 topics that we will never touch in social media. So we will never post about sex, we will never post about politics, we will never post about religion, we will never post about sports, and we will never post about anything negative. The reason we stay away from those 5 topics is because you lose people. If I post something about the Republican Party, the Democrats all leave. If I post something about the Democrats, the Republicans all leave. If I post something about both of them, the Independents leave. So we just stay away from all of that. Secondly, we have a call to action in almost every single post we do. Something, click like if, share this if, go visit this article, check out this person, go friend request this person. I have my social media group literally trained to do something when I post. Right? Hey, here's a puzzle, solve the puzzle. There's always a call to action so that when you are presenting stuff for them to buy or to exchange or to get involved in, it doesn't come completely out of the blue. So almost everything has some sort of call to action. Check out this. Hey, I like this fan page. Do you like it? Very question-oriented to always start a conversation or have engagement. The more engagement we have, the better off we are with EdgeRank and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And the final thing that we really do is we really try to use as many pictures and video and unique things other than just a standard post as possible. So we were talking earlier about I did a post with a Brian Tracy quote. Well, I went and I found an image that had that quote on the image. That image quote of the image will have more play than if I just typed the quote in Facebook. So as much visualization, I would say stay away from the five no-nos and add call to actions. And we have some sort of selling our call to action, something that might be salesy, like no more than 1 out of 10 posts.
Awesome. That's perfect. And I always tell people that too, to make sure that you're giving value before you ask for something in return. So I'm really glad that you said that.
It's all about value. If you're not and let me just dispel a myth. Giving value is not putting a coupon for your services up on Facebook.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It is not saying, hey, I'm going to give you a free 30-minute strategy call where secretly I'm going to sell you stuff.
Right.
Right? Value is, let me educate you on why you should consider using social media.
Yeah.
Let me give you value. Let me tell you the 5 topics that I never post on and why.
Mm-hmm.
You know, giving value into your network is my #1 top priority. And you can do that offline as well. I mean, you could actually do this online as well now that I'm thinking about it, but I'll just give you two things I do, and then we'll jump off here.
Okay.
The first thing I do is I take my phone, and every day I try to text 10 people in my network, whether I'm standing in line at the grocery store, whether I'm at a traffic light, wherever. I'm texting people, just staying in touch, saying, hey, Rachel, I was just thinking of you. Hope you're well.
Wow.
Okay? I do that on Facebook all the time. If you go look at my Facebook page, you'll see, oh my gosh, these are the 5 people I missed today, and I'll tag them in there. Or, hey, Layla, I was just thinking of you today. I always want to add as much, hey, I'm thinking of you, into the network. The second thing I do is I subscribe to a bunch of magazines, and then while I'm watching TV, I take a razor blade, and I cut out all those articles. Just down the page, I basically rip apart the magazines when I'm done. Then what I do is I'll take a Post-it note and a Sharpie, or just a Sharpie, and I'll write on the top of the article, hey, Rachel, was just thinking of you. Fold that up, put it in an envelope, and send it off to you. Imagine when you get an article in the mail that has no sales material, nothing in it, and all it is, hey, I just thought that you might find this interesting. And the beauty is, she doesn't have to find it interesting at all. It's the thought that somebody would take the time to fold a magazine article up, put it in the mail, and send it to you. So you can do that online as well. Find a link to a blog post. If you find a blog post, try not to have it be your own blog post.
Right.
But say, tag Rachel and say, hey, Rachel, I saw this great article written by Kathy Stover. Go check it out. And that's how you just build a tribe of people that are all content and value driven, really looking to aim to build a community. And that's really the key.
That's amazing. I love that idea about the articles, taking the articles and sending them to people. So brilliant.
Look, most of us have, if you go into the bathroom, most of us have a stack of magazines already, yeah. Whether it's Better Homes and Gardens or C Magazine, whatever.
Right.
Just take them, instead of throwing them out, cut them out, and say, hey, I'm going to send out 3 articles a day.
Okay, I'm totally going to do that.
Do it for a month, send out 3 articles a day for a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. And you know what I find happens more often than not, Rachel, is that somebody I send an article to will actually thank me via social media versus thanking me on the phone.
Wow, that's pretty powerful.
And that's cool, because now somebody else is giving me a vote of confidence rather than me saying, hey, go buy my article, buy my stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Casey, for taking the time to answer these questions and chat with me. I really appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy, so
absolutely. Well, Rachel, I'm so excited to have you as part of our community and part of our really social media team that's going to be doing a lot of really cool things. I know you're going to help us start doing trainings and stuff, and I'm thrilled and so excited that you're part of the network. So you guys have an awesome day, and you've got to go check out Rachel and get connected to her. She'll tell you all about DNet and all sorts of cool stuff she's doing.
Thanks, Casey.